Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my client Michelle's vlog and getting ready for our next meet. Again, she's looking great. We're definitely leaner, stronger, gaining muscle. We still run conjugate for her. So this comes up with topics. People are like, you don't do conjugate, do you still advocate conjugate? And then, you guys see my vlog with Michelle doing conjugate every single week. So we started off with a floor press, and we're not going to do a lot of variations. We've got another meet coming up, so we're pretty much just sticking with rotating two movements for now. It's just going to be a competition bench and a floor press for upper. We're just going to do our standard squat and our conventional deadlift for our two max effort every other week on the lower body. So what does our supplemental work look like right now? We do pause benching for reps. And I want people to keep in mind, outside of the max work and speed work, everything is about hypertrophy for her. Okay, all of it. And she comes in and even does extra workouts because she needs it psychologically. It's just the way she's built. She feels like she needs to be training 6 days a week. I don't ever program that way. So I let her run with it as a trainer herself her other 2 days. It's usually the weekends. And let her do her thing as long as I don't see signs of overtraining. And we don't ever see that with her. That's the interesting thing. She's a machine pretty much. She has years of boxing and conditioning before this. Her work capacity and recovery tends to be on the extreme end accordingly. And so, I put her through 4 normal conjugate workouts that I program for her, geared towards maximizing her strength and development. She does a couple others, and then she does her own daily cardio sessions and stuff too. But the thing is, she's getting stronger, leaner. Look at her physique even in the last few months, right? We're over here now doing pull-ups. She's doing like sets of 15 on these, right? And this is the middle of a workout. Keep in mind, we've already benched, so she comes in and cranks out full range of motion, high rep pull-ups. We're doing like 5 sets of this at this point. Okay, so context. And notice people used to say, oh, she swings too much or this or that. Now look how strict she's gotten on those. But part of it is because we've dropped body weight and gone down a weight class and then continue to get stronger. But again, notice the improvements in the physique, right? She's lean, she's trim, she's strong, she's doing really well. So we keep it moving forward. We're getting PRs on a lot of this stuff. Same thing here. Now she's over here doing her triceps with JM presses. She likes these, and so I run them still. But again, it shows how strong her tricep strength is, right? A lot of tricep strength on her. Almost makes me want to work my JM presses back in, right? I actually like these. I get concerned for me. They don't put enough tricep mass on the way I would like. They absolutely carry over to my bench, though. But I keep them in for her year round, and they don't ever bother her elbows. Now, granted, she does a lower elbow version, and that's okay. That's okay because it keeps her triceps strong, keeps her bench lockout strong. Here she's doing some of her own ab work that she likes to throw in. And I've had a couple people chime in last time, and they're just like, whoa, those are crazy hard. Like one of the other power lifters who watches regularly, he chimed in on that. Yeah, these are tough with the one arm, but again, this is where she is as an athlete. So, yeah, and I like to throw her ab work in. And note, I don't program her ab work. I'm just like, do whatever you want for abs, and we'll put it in the vlog, some of it. And, again, I give her a lot of freedoms with those things. I only really am concerned primarily with her primary programming. And my goal is to get her strong, explosive, and jacked. And I let her do everything else that she wants to do because, again, conditioning and what she has to have mentally. All right, so for max effort, lower, we went with just a normal back squat. Right? With a normal back squat. She's wanting to mess more with the wide stance again, which, most people can tend to do good numbers with. Our concern with that is historically is getting the depths that I want out of that for her. Because, again, we don't always get the depth we want. And I want to make sure that we don't get red lights at meets for depth. So it's one reason we mess with the narrower stance. But I will agree most people are probably going to have a bigger max with a wider stance, barring biomechanics. But of course, we need to keep bringing up her quads. Quads, hamstrings, glutes are always obviously a priority. Here she's doing a nice wide stance leg press, which very similar stance to her squat stance. So we should get some solid carryover there. I also have her do some split squats, right? Coming up, and she does those with dumbbells this time. Again, I don't care how she does them. She can rotate it around as long as we get the split squats in. You know, sometimes she'll do dumbbells, other times she'll use the SSB. Main thing is I'm mostly concerned about the range of motion on these. As long as we get the deep range of motion that I want, we build the quads, build the adductors. Again, that's all that matters. You know, and I think, how do I say this? People get hung up in the wrong things. I mean, you see so many people who talk about the silliest stuff, such as elbow flaring or whatever, and instead of saying, hey, how about tension that we're getting on the muscles? How about ranges of motion, creating tension, creating fatigue? Okay, that is the single most important thing when it comes to training for hypertrophy and gaining muscle. All these other things are literally about comfort and personal preference. Most of the stuff that people drone on and on about is literally nothing more than personal preference and comfort. It does not matter one bit half the time for hypertrophy in the muscle you're trying to grow. Hence the reasons people have become amazing champions with amazing muscular development using completely different forms and techniques on the same exercises. Okay? And that's really all that can be said about it. Look at what's happening biomechanically. That's what matters. That's what we care about. Are we creating fatigue? Are we putting enough tension on the muscle? Are we taking it through the ranges of motion and the joint angles that we want? Are we getting the stretches that we want? Are we getting the contractions that we want? Everything else is of secondary importance, okay? And for some reason, people cannot grasp this. They seem to have no concept of this, and it seems like you cannot explain it to people. They just don't get it, right? And everyone who watches this knows that what I'm saying is true. It's the case. So what did we do here for the other work? We did the split squats, we do some band pull-throughs, we do glute ham raises, and then we go on to our speed days. And the speed days look very, very similar. The supplemental lifts are pretty much the same, but we do dynamic effort benching. We use 3 different grips for her. We use wide, medium, and close grip. We've gone over to, for her dynamic effort lower, we most of the time just simply run her standard squat, right? We just do them with dynamic work type percentages and rest periods. And then we do conventional deadlifts, and sometimes we rotate it in as deficit conventional deadlifts. And again, the supplemental work tends to be the same. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.